Hi, this is Wes Fryer, and it's Saturday, December the 9th, 2017. And these are a few reflections about a mini retreat which I was able to attend this past Wednesday, which I think was maybe December 4th or 5th, at the Innovation Hub at the University of Oklahoma, as well as the library of the University of Oklahoma. We took about, I think, 7 or 8 of our teachers and staff down there. Josh Bottomley, who is our assistant head of school, has been leading a group that started out and is still primarily focused on computer science and coding, but is also talking a lot about innovation and maker education, STEM education, and just the ways that we can bring creativity and innovation and innovative pedagogies into our school. And so this was an opportunity to get together in this very creative space, and I just want to share 5 quick ideas of things that I learned. So one of the first things was the centrality and importance of a coffee shop. So in both the Innovation Hub as well as at the library, where they have been reimagining and reinventing, redesigning their spaces, the presence of coffee, of food, of a place where you can, get some sustenance, that it's key, it's central. And so if we can ideally do it, I think we need to take a look at where our coffee and our snacks are located. I'm thinking now in our upper division or high school, we have an area by our student center where at a break time, 10, 15-ish, something like that, in the morning, our cafeteria staff make, sausage and biscuits and little pretzels and I think little pizzas and coffee and drinks and things available. And so as we think about redesigning spaces in our school, I think we need to co-locate that with our maker space that will hopefully have some of the design elements that we saw at the Innovation Hub at OU. Second of all, I really love seeing these classrooms of the future, and these are called, I think, interactive classrooms. I think they said there are 12 or 13 of these around campus. We were in one of them in the Innovation Hub. This is actually one that's in the library at OU, and you can see, I'm only, being able to show about a third of the room, and there are screens all over the place. And so these are mobile desks, mobile chairs that can easily be reconfigured. The teacher can, from the center of the room, show their device, whether that's iPad or laptop or whatever, on all screens. Students are able to plug in, they're able to show their device around. We need to create a classroom like this at our school. One of the things that they're doing, they recognize, I think, at OU, as all school administrators would, that you can't, just reconfigure everybody immediately with something like this, but you can do this in strategic places, and by having this location, it not only allows teachers and students to experience education and learning in this kind of environment, it also models what those possibilities can look like physically, and that there's a lot of power in being able to physically be in that space, and I'm sure also, learn in that space and experience those creative potentials. Actually, it reminds me of a classroom at the University of Montana in Missoula, where I was able to do a couple-day administrator workshop a few years back, and I think there were 4 projectors and screens we had with different things, but it really was pretty awesome to be able to have different kinds of content and then also be able to have, participants share content, and it wasn't just about, one screen at the front, just sharing the teacher's presentation. I think this is pretty cool, and this, discloses, I think, what the learning space of the future needs to be, with multiple screens and multiple possibilities of how you share content there. Next, I loved the fact that at the Innovation Hub, they had an exercise area. And so this was just adjacent to their meeting rooms. And in addition to having, some treadmills, actually, even in the library and some of the study rooms, if people wanted to be active, there's this idea that for wellness and balance, we need to have this integration of our exercise and how we tend to our health with how we tend to our mind and our brain. And so really, really cool that they did that. And again, I think that's a very interesting idea to bring in as we talk about wellness, we talk about redefining spaces, and we talk about what we value within our learning community, right? Because the actual physical space and the objects in those spaces and the ways in which they are available and laid out relative to each other, it all reflects the values of our organization and the kinds of interactions that we want to see people have, the kinds of uses of materials and resources and exchange of ideas that we want to see folks have. I also loved, of course, their encouragement to create. And on the other side of this sign, there was actually a creativity challenge, which they run those, they said, every, on a continual rolling basis across campus. And so love this focus on what are you going to create, what are you going to make, and then the sharing of that, right? Being able to share that with others, amplify that across social media platforms, being able to celebrate it. In fact, when I was looking for pictures for this slideshow, I ran across a quotation from the Encyclomedia Conference this last year where they said, something to the effect that, we become what we celebrate. We become what we celebrate. So we need to celebrate creativity. We need to celebrate, learners of any age, teachers as well as students, taking instructional risks and learning risks to try something new and to share it out there within the community. And so actually I'm very excited and inspired by this, that it really was a catalyst for an idea I've had for a number of months, if not years, and that was to set up a Google Plus community for our school called Cassidy Learns. I've been using the hashtag, just personally, Cassidy Learns, for a while, just to share some different things that, either I'm learning at school, or I'm learning with other teachers, or that have, a direct impact or connection to what we're doing at school. And so anyway, this particular day was great to not only see this, but then to be inspired to go out and take action and hopefully follow a similar path to what they're doing there at the Innovation Hub at OU. Lastly, this is not a picture from the Innovation Hub. It's actually from another similar maker space and learning space, fabrication space, if you will. And this is from Burlington, New Hampshire, Burlington, Vermont. I'm getting my Northeast states confused. My wife and I have had opportunities in 2013 and then in 2017 in the summer to travel up to Burlington, Vermont to be part of a wonderful, wonderful summer institute called Create, Make, and Learn. And so this is a vision statement that was on the wall there at the community makerspace to be a fearless learning community designing dynamic processes and tools to create meaningful solutions. Love that. And we definitely heard quite a bit of discussion at our visit about the design process, about projects, about the ways in which engineering, coding, science, collaboration, these things come together in the context of meaningful projects that solve problems. Two of my favorite examples shared by the Engage Oklahoma leader who we met just serendipitously during our visit was a group that was making, or has made, I guess they're going to make, prosthetic legs for shelter dogs at the Oklahoma City Animal Shelter. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I know that my daughter, and I'm sure many others, would be very interested in that. And the ways in which we package and offer learning opportunities is so important, right? Because we can turn people off with certain words and titles and courses and things like that. So that's very exciting. They also talked about, I think it was a group from Little Axe that had been in, and they designed solar-powered flower boxes. But in order to design the angles for the wings that looked like butterflies, they actually had to use and learn trigonometry. And one of the favorite things of some of the students, which included many girls, was that they loved the trigonometry and couldn't wait to get back to class and learn more because they had learned it in context. So yes, that's awesome. Integrated learning and the encouragement for students to be able to apply their knowledge and learn in different content areas, but in a very integrated, purposeful, and meaningful way. Yay. If you've got comments or feedback, please share them. Would love to hear from you. I am at W. Fryer on Twitter, or if you're seeing this in our Cassidy Learning community, you can leave a comment, or I think I'll also be posting this to my blog on speedofcreativity.org.